Hello, this is Chris, branch manager with Churchill Mortgage. Today I wanted to just share a little bit about my personal story and my journey in debt freedom. It's not a journey that's totally completed yet, but I'm excited to share with you what we've experienced, and maybe it encourages somebody out there to take the next best step towards personal growth, financial growth, and maybe debt freedom. So I grew up in a family of 9 kids, one of 9. We were homeschooled, my dad was self-employed, and there's a lot of entrepreneurial people within my family, and that was kind of inspirational to me as I was growing up. I wanted to prepare for the world of business in some way or another. I didn't quite know where that was going to lead me, but I thought the first step would be to go to a college, and I found a great school called Covenant College out in Lookout Mountain, Georgia, really close to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and enrolled there back in 2008 and started my education in business. And boy, it is expensive these days to go to school. So I found myself in a situation where debt was piling up semester by semester, year after year. And a lot of my peers thought that that was normal. And so it wasn't something I worried about, and honestly didn't really think about that much. I didn't really know what I was going to walk out of school with in total student loan debt. And that again seemed very normal to the rest of my peers. It was between my junior and senior year that I did an internship at a financial advisory firm called Cornerstone Wealth Partners. During my internship there, I learned a lot about a guy named Dave Ramsey and his take on debt, student loans, and mortgages. At the time, I didn't really have a lot of context for it. Knew I was going to be finishing my senior year with even more debt, and it didn't really click with me personally yet. It sounded good, it looked good, but it wasn't real for me yet. I graduated college, got my first job, and met a wonderful woman named Amy. Soon after my move to Churchill Mortgage as a loan specialist, me and Amy got pretty serious, got engaged, and got married. I went ahead and put part of the wedding ring on a loan. We took out a credit card to take a trip to Cancun and enjoyed very much our wedding and honeymoon. It was about a couple weeks after we got back from the honeymoon that we learned we were newly pregnant, and boy, real life sets in very quickly for you. With Amy's student loan debt around $25,000 at the time, the credit card debt, my student loan debt, we were about $85,000 in debt, and about $700 to $800 a month in debt payments outside of our rent. You can imagine it was pretty stressful for a new marriage, as well as for our future outlook, and especially being pregnant. I did not want student loan debt to be a part of the future for my children. So I'm just really grateful as I look back that I was at a company like Churchill Mortgage that was in partnership now with Dave Ramsey, ironically enough, and I was in a culture now that encouraged debt freedom, encouraged living on less than you make, and growing little by little. It had an amazing impact on me, and it started kind of the first step of moving out of debt. Me and Amy decided to do a written budget and to start planning on paper every month, every dollar on paper every month. And the first thing it did is it just removed a lot of the money fights. We knew what we were planning on for spending money, for hospitality, for debt elimination, or for rent. All of that was spelled out in our budget, and even in the months where things were tight, there was at least a lot less fighting about what we were going to be doing or how things were. So if you haven't taken that step, that's the first step towards financial growth or achieving financial goals. And I'll strongly recommend it for anybody, especially if you're married. So then we started walking the baby steps. We put together a $1,000 emergency fund, and a few times cars broke down. We were so glad to have that emergency fund. Step 2 was doing a debt snowball. And for me, that was important because I'm kind of a free spirit when it comes to finances, ironically enough. And so it's easy for me to justify spending, especially when it's on hospitality or things like that, and I get distracted. So those quick little wins, paying off some of the smaller debts, helped me to stay motivated towards the end goal. Plus, knowing what future I was creating by getting out of debt was also incredibly motivational for my personality type. We even, to make it fun, I had a friend sit down with me and even name each of those student loans after Star Wars villains. So there's 15 or so different loans, including our home mortgage. And so we named them after Star Wars villains, and it really felt like defeating evil every time we paid one of those loans off. So, make it fun, make it interesting for you. But the point is we didn't do highest interest rate. for us, it had to do with our habits and knowing ourselves enough to say that if we go after some of these big loans that had higher rates, we just weren't going to stay after it. I think who I had to become to be debt-free was different than who I was. I almost had to be debt-free as a person to then actually achieve debt freedom personally. As weird as that sounds, the person I had to be, the decisions that I had made had to all be from that context. I think somebody who wants to be a millionaire someday starts to think about and act like and spend time with millionaires to start making the decisions that eventually generate a net worth of $1 million or more. Same for me in trying to be debt free, and I want to do that for paying off our home mortgage now in advance of the kids headed to college. So all of this gets me very excited when I think about the future of our family, and it's exactly what I want to be as I show up to work and lead our team here, as I talk to customers or meet with them in consultations. I get excited about what impact I can have on them as they're considering their financial dreams and goals. Not everybody right away maybe is ready to think about being debt-free, but I'm going to be there ready to help them if they ever want us to have that conversation. I'd encourage you, if you're looking for a different way, if you use debt and maybe have a little more consumer debt than you'd feel comfortable with, give me a call and I'd love to at least encourage you and coach you towards debt freedom and to help you to build a plan. The plan creates some hope, which I know anyone can be debt-free regardless of the situation, and that plan can create some hope for you. And next, as you work that plan and your success becomes more and more inevitable, it opens up the space to be generous and to have personal financial freedom to be generous towards others. That gets me really excited. As I think about Churchill's purpose and the impact that we want to have, it's all wrapped up in this idea of empowering our customers to be generous and to live the life that they want to live. So if that excites you, please give me a call. At the very least, I want to encourage you to walk with you across the rest of my debt-free journey and paying off our home and looking to the future. And at the very least, encourage you to take that next step and to give you a plan that you can be debt-free yourself someday. Give me a call. We'll talk to you soon.